Well, good afternoon, everyone. Lita Williams with you again for day 2 of my 30 days of live challenge. I'm excited to spend these few minutes with you now because I was thinking of something that I think is relevant as well as something that I actually experienced as a leader. And so today I just want to talk about doing well versus being well. Doing well versus being well. What do I mean? I mean that just because the team, the organization, the business is doing well does not mean that the team is well. And so I remember many years ago when I was in the military, at that time they called them junior leaders, and I think they call them now subordinate leaders. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure back then it was called junior leaders. And so anyway, I had maybe 4 to 5 people that worked for me in the area that I was in charge of. And we had a lot of work to do. And much of it was paperwork, but there was also some physical work that had to be done. And so I'm the type of person where I'm like, let's get the work done. Let's stay focused. Let's do what we have to do so that we are not late on our deadline. We are not late getting things turned in. We are not late meeting the goal that was set for us by our commander at that time. So long story short, we were getting the work done, but for some reason, I want to say it just dropped in my mind to ask the people that work for me, what did they think? Because it was getting close to time for me to counsel them, and I wanted to know how I was doing as their leader. And I'll tell you that when that crossed my mind, I don't think it was by happenstance. I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was something that needed to happen because I needed to hear what they had to say. So I gathered everybody up. We sit down in the office. And so the reason I wanted them all together is because knowing who they were more likely to be honest with me if they were all together versus if I spoke to them one-on-one. Yes, I counseled them one-on-one, but this particular thing was not about me doing their individual counseling. It was me needing feedback from the team. How is Lita doing? And so we sat down, y'all. We talked a bit. And so I said, I brought you all here. I said, first of all, I want you to understand that I'm not bringing you here. None of what we're talking about here is to affect you. I need to know how I'm doing so I can adjust. And so I started asking them, how do you think I'm doing as a leader? And wow, they told me some things that did not feel good, y'all. They told me I was pushy. I was like a bully. They told me I was, hard charging and I want to get things done. But it was like the most important thing to me was getting the work done and not the people. And so that hurt. That hurt because, inwardly, I'm not thinking that way. And that brings me to why I wanted to talk about doing well versus being well. The business can be booming. We could be making all kinds of money. We could be meeting every deadline. We could be advancing at record speed. We could be doing all of that. But is everybody really well? And as I begin to reflect back on that many years ago, it just reminded me how important it is that as leaders, we are self-aware. And part of getting that self-awareness is not just us looking in the mirror, because sometimes we can look in the mirror and think we got it going on. We can look at ourselves, we can look at our stats, we can look at our progress and think that you've met the mark and it even exceeded your own expectations. But when you start asking the team, get some feedback from them, because oftentimes they see what we can't see. And I was looking for this quote. Stephen Sample wrote this book, and in the quote out of his book says this: